Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host, James Egan. I'm trying to do a video about every single Avenger before Avengers Endgame comes out. I'm nearly done now, as today I'm looking at the Winter Soldier. Although most people call him Bucky, his actual name is James Buchanan Barnes. He is named after the 15th US president, which is pretty weird because James Buchanan is often considered to be the worst president in American history. Why would you name him after the worst president? Why didn't you call him James Lincoln? And that is the first fact about the Winter Soldier. Let's dive in. Bucky debuted in the first issue of Captain America comics in 1941. Bucky was Captain America's partner during World War II. He was created as Cap's partner to capitalize on the success of Batman after his sidekick Robin was created. It worked as the first issue of Captain America sold over 1 million copies, an unheard number for the time. Just to comprehend how big that number is, when Star Wars comics came out after Disney bought Marvel, they didn't even sell 1 million copies. And this is back in 1941. During World War II, Bucky walked into a dressing room while Steve Rogers was changing into his Captain America costume. Bucky promised to keep Cap's identity a secret if he could tag along with him on missions. Cap reluctantly agreed. Although he was 16 when he joined Cap, another issue said that Bucky died when he was 14. Mistakes like this happen all the time when a comic series has countless issues over several decades, written by hundreds of writers. He's played by Sebastian Stan in the Captain America films. Stan Lee doesn't like kid sidekicks like Robin or Supergirl. The reason why is because Lee believes a true hero would never endanger a child's life and wouldn't allow a teenager to go on dangerous missions with him. So why does Captain America have a kid sidekick? Simple, because despite what many people believe, Stan Lee did not create Captain America. He was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. This is why Captain America is one of the only Marvel superheroes to have a kid sidekick. Bucky has been a part of several teams, including the Invaders, the Kid Commandos, and the Liberty Legion. Technically, Bucky wasn't Captain America's sidekick. He was known as the sidekick to cover up the fact that he was a covert assassin who hunted and killed Nazis. Okay, now let's talk about what Bucky's most famous for. Dying. He seemingly died in April 1945. He jumped on a small ship carrying a bomb, hoping his extra weight would destabilize its trajectory. It exploded, killing him. Or so it seemed. After the explosion, Bucky lost his arm and fell into the English Channel near Dover. Luckily, he was picked up soon after by a Soviet spy submarine. He was nursed back to health, and the Soviets replaced his arm with a robotic appendage. His supposed death was shown in a flashback in Avengers 56 in 1968. The Soviets turned Bucky into a brainwashed assassin called the Winter Soldier. They never actually say why he's called that in the movies, which annoys me because it's actually quite complicated. The name refers to how he was frozen cryonically and how he'd be resuscitated during the darkest times, mainly through the Cold War, to assassinate figureheads. Once he completed his task, he'd be cryonically frozen again until he was needed next. The term Winter Soldier became popular during the Vietnamese War. Soldiers during the Vietnam War acted patriotic when things were easy, but abandoned their missions when they were met by the Vietnamese' superior tactics. However, some soldiers didn't back down and were known as Winter Soldiers. The term is derived from political activist Thomas Paine, who said, "The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of a man and woman." Bucky regained his personality after Captain America used the Cosmic Cube, an artifact that could unlock memories. The Cosmic Cube is called the Tesseract in the Marvel films. Including his cybernetic arm, Bucky weighs 260 pounds. Bucky can control his cybernetic arm even when it's disconnected from him. He's been cryonically frozen for so long he's only aged 5 years in half a century. His arm can discharge an EMP pulse that shuts down all nearby electronics. His cybernetic arm has a holographic inducer which allows it to pass as a normal arm. His gun of choice is a Luger P08. He's fluent in Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, and English. Several people have taken on the role of Bucky, including Fred David after World War II, Jack Monroe, an orphan who idolized Bucky, and Hulk's best friend, Rick Jones. He personally trained Natasha Romanoff, better known as Black Widow, in combat when she was part of the Soviet Red Room program. Comic book fans are aware of a concept in comic books called the Bucky Clause. This clause states that no one stays dead in comics except Bucky, Robin, and Uncle Ben. This clause is now redundant since Bucky and Robin, Jason Todd, have been brought back to life in recent stories. But of all the mainstream Marvel comics, Bucky stayed dead the longest. His supposed death in 1954 was supposed to be the end of the character. He was resurrected 51 years later. Bucky seemingly died, again, while fighting a god called Scotty. It was later revealed that Bucky survived this encounter by absorbing the Infinity Formula. The Infinity Formula is what keeps Nick Fury alive and active even though he's 100 years old. Also, let me know if you want me to do a video about Nick Fury. Very few people knew that Bucky survived the fight with Scotty. This allowed Bucky to take part in Black Ops missions. When Steve Rogers died, Bucky became the new Captain America. While he was brainwashed by the Soviets, Bucky killed Itsu, which was Wolverine's wife. Although this seemed very shocking, there are some continuity problems. You see, this was in 1946, however, Bucky was in suspended animation between 1945 and 1954. So that's a really, really big plot hole. And finally, he hates being called James. I like that name. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe. Please let me know if there's any other Marvel characters you want me to do a video about, and I'll upload it as soon as possible. To learn more facts, check out my books. They're available on Amazon on paperback and Kindle. Thanks for watching. See you again.